The purpose of this video is to provide a basic introduction, a brief overview to the Chinese language writing system. So the Chinese language is not an alphabet. It is composed of thousands of what we call characters, and each character carries with it a meaning and represents one syllable. So up here I have an example of a character. On the top right here, this character, the meaning is tiger, the animal, tiger. And the pronunciation, the syllable that it represents is hu. And in this video, we're not going to talk too much about pronunciation. We'll save that for another video. So the Chinese language is essentially composed of combinations of characters. So as you combine one character with another, it creates a new meaning or a new word. And that's how you create sentences, paragraphs, books. Everything in Chinese is essentially a combination of these characters. Chinese has a very long history, and that's why I have this other character here. This other character on the left is also tiger, but this is what it looked like a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. In fact, this looks a little bit more like a character, right? So over the years, over hundreds of years, it slowly evolved and changed into the character that we see on the right here, which is what the character for tiger is today. This on the right here is how we write tiger today. So there are different types of Chinese characters. The first type we're going to talk about are pictographs. Pictographs, and they are essentially pictures. So for example, that is the Chinese character to fly. Here's the Chinese character for tree. Maybe I can write these for you here. Fly, tree. Another picture is river. Now I know they're not perfect, they're not exact, but they're not bad. And over the years, keep in mind they have changed. Another type of character are what we call ideographs. Ideographs. And instead of representing pictures, they represent ideas. So, for example, the number 1 in Chinese is like that. Number 2, that's the character for number 2. Here's the character for number 3. They represent an idea. Another example, this character means up, on, or over. So it's sort of like this right here is the baseline, and this little thing sticking out right here is on, above, or over the baseline. This character means under or below or lower. So these are ideographs. And then you have a third kind, and these have different names, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to call them combinations, because that is essentially what they are. They're combinations of different characters. And I'm going to give you some examples. So this character right here means woman or female. And if you add that character to this, which is horse, this is the character for horse. If you smush them together, if you cram them into each other, you create a new character, which means mother. Now, you may object for a moment. You may say, well, horse, what does horse have to do with mother? Woman I can understand, but horse. And so, actually, what you have here you have something very special going on. So the left character is giving you a hint at the meaning. It is hinting at the meaning. But the right side, maybe I should change colors here. So the meaning, the right one, the right character, horse, is not hinting at the meaning. It is hinting at the pronunciation. It's hinting at the pronunciation. So the pronunciation of horse is ma, and the pronunciation of mother is ma. Now they're not exactly the same, but they're close. So when you look at this character for mother, you see two different characters, and after you've studied Chinese for some time, you can understand that the left one is giving you a hint. It's saying it has something to do with woman, and the right side is giving you a hint. And the right hint is for pronunciation. It's saying it has some sort of connection to ma, to the pronunciation of the character on the right. Combinations. So you can do all sorts of different things with Chinese characters. For example, We know tree from above. Let's get a new color here. So we know tree from above. Tree, that's tree or wood. It can also mean wood. Now, if you simply add another tree right next to each other, you have a new character, and this character means the woods, or like a grove of trees, a clump or collection of trees together. And the pronunciation of this, I'm going to include this, and you'll see why in a moment, is lin. And what you can also do, there's another character which has 3 trees, just like that, and this basically means to be full of trees. And that is pronounced sun. And there is a word which you take these 2 characters, this character is pronounced sun, as we said, and then you take the other character, which is pronounced lin, and this, all of this together, oops, sorry, let me get that out of the way. All of this together means forest. Forest. So you have basically a bunch of trees together, and that is the Chinese word for forest. Chinese word for forest. All right, so another example. I'll give you another example of this. Let's move over here. This is the Chinese character for sun, S-U-N, the sun. This is the Chinese character for moon, moon, the sun and the moon. So you can cram these 2 together. You can push them together, create a new character, which means bright, like a bright light. So what's brighter than the sun and the moon together? Well, I guess nothing. At least nothing that we can, at least from our perspective, from our eyes, the brightest thing you could ever imagine is the sun and the moon together. So this character right here means bright. Another example, what you can do is you don't necessarily have to combine characters. You can, for example, take sun and you can add just a little dot on top and turn it into this, and that means clear, or it can also mean white. And then what you can do, let me change colors here so we can see the effect of this. So you can take this and put it here, take that character, and then take this one. So now you have 2 characters, 1, 2, and you actually have created a new word. This word means to understand. Now, how cool is that? Bright, clear, understand. Right? Isn't that just amazing? So we'll give you some more examples of how this language is created and constructed. So you can add 2 things in different ways. So for example, this means sun, we know. If you go like this, you have the character which means dawn or daybreak. Looks like a sunrise, the sun coming up over the horizon. If you add a line, you get the character for early or morning. So you can add to these characters as you go. Another really cool example, this is sun, as we know, and you saw tree before. If you add this little line right there, it changes this character from tree into source or origin. And this right here is the word for Japan, or the source of the sun, the land of the rising sun. Isn't that cool?